So we're going to talk about cleaning your cookware. So cleaning our Salad Master is a lot easier because of the hardness of it. It resists chemical reactions so much better. So it cleans a lot easier than stainless steel. Now the first wash from the factory when you receive it, we try to do that for you. Some customers we drop ship. You just wash it like you regularly would before you were first used, but be sure to add a cup of white vinegar in the water. And what that does is it cuts through any traces of invisible machine oils that might be there from the factory. So you want to get rid of that, but that's only the first time and then you're good to go. So daily washing is the same as it's always been for your cookware. Plus this is actually dishwasher safe. If you put it in the dishwasher, you want to remove the knobs. You can turn to the left and remove them and leave your handles off just to retain the luster of the cookware knobs and handles. The removable handles also makes it a very easy fit for any piece inside your sink, so you can fully soak things instead of angle soaking, so it's really convenient. Even the electric skillet and the multi-purpose oil core are fully water submersible, including the dishwasher. So you get this safe, non-toxic cleaner that comes with your set. This ought to last you probably a year or longer. You don't have to use it with every wash. Its purpose is to help kind of keep things shiny and pretty looking. You only need a very small amount, and I'll show you that in a moment. The basic uses for this would be to remove a film of minerals that you notice. Sometimes you see a white film. Since we're not washing away and destroying minerals, you'll see a haze from time to time. That usually happens when you've either cooked meat or vegetables. It also helps if you've accidentally burned something. You might want to see our tips on how not to burn, and that will help a lot. Or if you have food stuck on. So we'll talk about all that. Now the cleaner is mildly abrasive. So it's meant for the inside, not the outside. So think soft on the outside and abrasive on the inside. That's fine because of the 316, which is on the inside. You can also make a fine paste of this with a little water and use it on the bottom of your cookware if you need to do that. When you use the cleaner, you don't want to use something like a sponge or a dishcloth, because what that's going to do is absorb and waste it. This is mildly abrasive, so you want something with some friction to wipe it away. So you can use, like a blue sponge is great. This is made for non-scratching, but it's mildly abrasive. You can use this on the inside. When things aren't really stuck on and you just want to get that really pretty look, a paper towel will do. I actually will hold on to a paper towel forever and use it over and over, helping this go a long way. Don't worry when it turns black, it's not the cookware. It's just what happens to this when it's wet and you're using it. So a little goes really far, and what you want to do is you want to follow the grain of the cookware. So your circular pieces, you'll notice the grain is circular, so kind of go with that. If you have a square griddle, you'll see that the grain goes side to side. So it's kind of nice to stay with that for the optimum polishing result. When you're done, simply rinse it off and dry, and it's gorgeous for decades to come. So when we cooked all the vegetables on our cooking show, you notice that the bottom of the cookware stayed shiny and clean. Very, very easy to clean up. There was no food stuck on it. Now, we just washed it as you normally would, but before drying, we add a small amount of this cleanser. So for example, a dirty pan, right? So I'm going to take the sponge and soapy water, simply wash it out to get the dirt gone. And if anything's stuck on, I'll use the cleanser. Even if it's not stuck on and I knew I cleaned vegetables, I would use the cleanser to get rid of the mineral film. So that's how clean it came out. And what I had done in here is I reheated leftovers on low, but I did have a little bit of a mess. It has some pasta and sauce. So you see it looks great, but I know, and I guess if I let it dry, that would be good to show you, but if you let it dry, while it's wet, it looks shiny. If you let it dry, sometimes the mineral films are left behind and you see this white haze. So I just know ahead of time, I don't want to wait till it dries to find that out. So I take this, and you'll see how little, it's like putting a little powder on a baby's bottom, very little. I don't have to scrub anything, so I'm going to take my paper towel and I'm going to go around in a circle, and that is just polishing it up. Now you don't have to do this every time. Some things you make you'll never need, and then all I do is rinse it And you can see how beautiful that looks, and it'll stay nice even when I dry it. So that's how little and how far this goes. When you're cleaning lids, the same thing like the bottom, you can use the scrubby on the inside, no problem. And on the outside, very soft, very easy to keep clean. Another tip is be sure that when you're cleaning, the valve can go up and down easily so you know it's going to calibrate when you're cooking your next meal. So now let's talk about cleaning when you've accidentally burned something, because we're all humans, right? Mistakes happen. Or you have some cooked on food. Now, if you don't remember the tips that we shared, and again, go back to our tips recipe for how not to burn. Things like heat the cookware, not the oil. You're going to get some sticking and burning and some messes to clean. Also, if you haven't figured out where medium is on each burner of your stove, you might have some accidental learning curves. That's okay. We all have them unless our stove is amazingly accurate. So just be patient with yourself. It's not the cookware, it's just learning your stove and remembering tips. Or maybe, like me, you forgot to turn it down. Maybe you left the room, got caught up in a conversation, didn't hear the clicking, didn't turn it down. Oh my gosh, it burned on the bottom. Those things happen. Not to worry. Don't ever go into panic mode. It's amazing. So, if something is either cooked onto the bottom, like you remember when we did the healthy fried chicken and we showed you the skillet, well, the natural healthy fats in that chicken created a real mess. It looked like, oh my gosh, I'm going to soak this and scrub this for hours, but we didn't have to do that. So if a pan is still hot, what you want to do is add hot water, not cold water. Too much of a differential is never good for anything. And then just cover it up. Now, if it's cooled down, you can add whatever temperature water, cover it, bring it to a boil on medium high, and then turn it off, let it sit covered, maybe 3 or 4 minutes. What will happen is it will just release, because you remember when we put the chicken in and we held it up, we showed how it sticks on there, we call it stickware, because we know nonstick is very toxic, right? And that nonstick finish wears away with some uses, so we don't want to go there with chemicals in our body. But it may stick on, but it won't stick in because 316 does not expand when heated. So that's the difference of why the cleanup is so much easier. So once it releases it, just pour that out, wash it as normal, and it's just so easy to clean. Remember with that mess from the fried chicken, we just wiped it with a paper towel after we poured out the hot water, and we were able to do that within 2 or 3 minutes. So don't worry if something seems to go wrong. It's great. I had a person call me on a Saturday, a retiree, and he said that he had put 2 eggs to boil and he didn't put the lid on and he fell asleep in a chair, and when he woke up he looked, because there was this black smoke, he said one of the 2 eggs was disintegrated and gone and the other one was burned black and stuck on there. So he did the right thing. He left it on. He didn't try to rescue it because it was super hot and dry. I mean, it had been there for quite some time. And I told him some tips to do, and he brought it to the class and he said, "Do you remember me?" He said, "It looks like brand new," and everyone was amazed. You could not tell. I'll show you a picture of someone who had a grease fire in their kitchen and the cookware caught on fire, and they did the tips and you cannot even tell the difference. So I'll show you that at the end. So if you ever have something happen, call us. We'll help you, walk you through it. Just so you know, the warranty does cover if you even have a house fire. They will let you repurchase at half price, which is amazing because the insurance should replace your cookware, right? Full price what you bought it for. And all you need to furnish is a fire incident report within, I think it's 60 days, but double check your warranty, it tells you that. So in a separate video, we're going to post something about how to clean when you have the oily buildup that can come on the outside from your gas stove oils, or spilling something over, frying natural healthy fats that are in our food, like when we fry the chicken. That can happen over time and build up. So we're going to do that separately, so watch for that video. Promised. Here's a picture of the grease fire. You can see the church pan, the lid, and the 3-quart severely burned. So after a little bit of cleanup, let me show you what we turned it into. Look at that. You cannot even tell. And just so you can appreciate it, here's a close-up of what it looked like before we did the cleanup, and this is after. Isn't that amazing? You get what you pay for.